नमस्कार, मैं सीए मनमोहन जिंदल, सोशल ऑडिटर and registered value in security and financial assets. In the last video, we had discussed the difference between the social auditor and the financial auditor and the other related materials. Today, we shall discuss principles of auditing and other parts relating to the social auditing. So, auditing principles helps to make the audit an effective and reliable tool by providing information on which an organization can act in order to improve its performance. So, auditing principles इंस्टीट्यूशन को, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को इस तरीके से काम करने के लिए प्रेरित करती है कि उसकी परफॉर्मेंस इम्प्रूवमेंट होता है. Adherence to these principles is a prerequisite for providing audit conclusions that are relevant and sufficient, and for enabling auditors working independently from one another to reach similar conclusions in the similar circumstances. तो ये प्रिंसिपल प्री रिक्विजिट है, उसके अंदर ए ऑडिटर करे या बी ऑडिटर करे या सी ऑडिटर करे, एक ही इंस्टीट्यूशन को यदि वो इंडिपेंडेंट कर रहा है तो सिमिलर कंक्लूजन आएगा इन दी सिमिलर सर्कमस्टेंसेस. The 7 principles of auditing are as follows. Number 1, integrity. The foundation of professionalism auditors and the individuals managing an audit program should perform their work ethically, with honesty and responsibility. Only undertake audit activities if he competent to do so. यदि वे उस काम को करने में सक्षम नहीं है तो ऑडिट एक्टिविटी नहीं लेनी चाहिए. Perform their work in impartial manner that is remain fair and unbiased in all their deeds. Be sensitive to an influence that may be extended or exerted on their judgment while carrying out an audit. जैसे कई बार बाहर से प्रेशर आ जाता है कि भाई आप अगर ऐसी रिपोर्ट दे देंगे तो हम आपको ये करेंगे, ऐसी रिपोर्ट दे देंगे तो हम आपके लिए बेनिफिट करेंगे. तो उस दबाव से, उस इन्फ्लुएंस में नहीं आना है. So he should be honest enough, responsible enough, ethical enough, and it are a part of integrity. Fair presentation. The obligation to report truthfully and accurately, audit findings, audit conclusions, audit report should reflect truthfully and accurately the audit objectives. Significant obstacles encountered during the audit and unresolved diverging opinions between the audit team and the auditee should be audited. The communication should be truthful, accurate, objective, timely, clear and complete. So ये communication इस तरीके से होना चाहिए. Number 3, due professional care. The application of diligence and judgment in auditing auditors should exercise due care in accordance with the importance of task they perform. तो ये बहुत जरूरी है. And the confidence placed by them in the audit client and other interested parties. तो बाकी का ऑडिटर में विश्वास होना चाहिए. An important factor in carrying out their work with due professional care is having the ability to make reasoned judgments in all audit situations. नंबर 4 पे कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी आता है कि हमें कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी को मेंटेन करना है. सिक्योरिटी ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन. Auditors should exercise discretion in use and protection of information acquired in the course of their duties. So, सिक्योरिटी ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन को रखना है। Audit information should not be used inappropriately for personal gain by the auditor or the audit client or in a manner detrimental to the legitimate interest of the audit. Audit की जो information मिली है उसे personal gain के लिए use नहीं करना है. This concept includes the proper handling of sensitive and confidential information. इसके बाद आ जाता है independence. The basis for the impartiality of audit and objectivity of the audit conclusions. Auditors should be independent of activity being audited wherever practicable and should in all cases act in a manner that is free from bias and conflict of interest. Very, very important. For internal audits, auditors should be independent from the functions being unaudited if practical. Auditors should maintain objectivity throughout the audit process to ensure that the audit findings and conclusions are based only on the audit evidence. For small organizations, it may not be possible for internal audit to be fully independent of the activity audited, but every effort should be made to remove bias and aggregate objectivity. So it is very important statement. इसके ऊपर ही क्वेश्चन आता है कि स्मॉल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ये पूरी स्टेटमेंट दे देंगे, लिखेंगे तो दिस स्टेटमेंट दिस पॉइंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. यहाँ पर आ जाएगा, ये पूरी स्टेटमेंट दे देंगे, लिखेंगे ये ट्रू है फॉल्स है, या इसको थोड़ा सा चेंज करके भी दे सकते हैं. तो यदि ऑडिटर इंडिपेंडेंट भी नहीं है परंतु उससे एवरी एफर्ट करना चाहिए कि वह ब्यास और ऑब्जेक्टिविटी ब्यास को रिमूव करे और ऑब्जेक्टिविटी को एनकरेज करे. एविडेंस बेस्ड अप्रोच, द रैशनल मेथड और रीचिंग रिलायबल and reproducible audit conclusion in a systematic audit process. Audit evidence should be verifiable. जो अपने audit evidence लिए हैं वो किसी दूसरे के द्वारा भी verifiable होने चाहिए. It should be in general be based on samples of information available since an audit is conducted during a finite period of time and with finite resources. An appropriate use of sampling should be applied since this is closely related to the confidence that can be placed in the audit conclusions. Now, risk-based approach. An audit approach that considers risk and opportunities, the risk-based approach should substantively influence the planning, conducting and reporting of the audits in order to ensure that audits are focused on matters that are significant for the audit client and for achieving the audit program of objectives. So these are the audit principles: integrity, fair presentation, due professional care, confidentiality, independence, evidence-based approach and risk-based approach. ये एविडेंस बेस्ड अप्रोच के ऊपर भी बहुत ज्यादा क्वेश्चन आता है. इसके ऊपर कोई भी चीज आएगी क्या करना है तो इस टाइप के क्वेश्चन आंसर भी हम देखेंगे बाद में कि द रैशनल मेथड ऑफ रीचिंग रिलायबल एंड रिप्रोड्यूसिबल ऑडिट कंक्लूजन इज ए सिस्टमैटिक ऑडिट प्रोसेस और जो ऑडिट एविडेंस शुड बी वेरीफाइएबल एटसेट्रा. इसमें से एक दो अक्षर देखे कि एविडेंस कैसा अप्रोच है. जब हम एविडेंस के द्वारा कोई रिपोर्टिंग करते हैं तो उसको क्या बोला जाता है? इट इज ए एविडेंस बेस्ड. नाउ कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट फॉर सोशल ऑडिटर्स. ICI developed a code of conduct for social auditors based on the international and practices. The objective of the code of conduct is to guide the social auditors in discharging their duties responsibly and diligently. The code of conduct is in addition to the regulatory requirements prescribed with the social stock exchange or any other regulatory bodies have jurisdiction over. तो कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट एक वॉलंटरी है और रेगुलेटरी गाइडलाइंस को तो मानना ही. The important principles and values for social auditors are listed below. Number one, integrity implies that social auditor is truthful, right, fair dealing, and honest. It is a core value for the social auditor should not knowingly be associated with the reports, returns, communications, and other information where he believes that information contains a materially false and misleading statement. High ethical standards are expected out of social. Number two, objectivity implies that social auditor will not compromise judgment because of bias, conflict of interest, or under any person's or institution. Loss of objectivity can be detrimental to the conclusions of the social. यदि ऑब्जेक्टिविटी डेट्रीमेंटल होती है, कंप्रोमाइज होती है, तो सोशल ऑडिट के कंक्लूजन्स बदल जाएंगे. नंबर 3, कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी implies that information will not be disclosed to a third party during or after the closure of the professional relationship. Access to any information gathered during the social audit is to be considered as confidential information. Apart from certain circumstances like disclosure under law, utmost confidentiality is expected of a social auditor. So number 5 is professional behavior. Social auditor is expected to behave lawfully, taking care so that not to discredit the profession. ये भैया क्वेश्चन है बहुत तगड़ा कि कैसे बिहेव करेगा. आंसर आ जाएगा डिस्क्रेडिट, डिसह्यूमर और so many options देगा. It is expected that social auditor has pragmatic disposition, having a broad perspective and able to understand complex operations. Professional competence and due care implies that social auditor attains, maintains, and updates the professional competence in the related technical, professional, and business domains. तो जिस बिजनेस में वो काम कर रहा है उसको उसका ज्ञान होना चाहिए, जिस प्रोफेशन में काम कर रहा है उसका प्रोफेशन का ज्ञान होना चाहिए, जो इसमें टेक्निकलिटी और आईटी का यूज हो रहा है उसका भी ज्ञान होना चाहिए, और उसको लगातार अपने आप को इम्प्रूव करना चाहिए, अपडेट करना चाहिए. इंडिपेंडेंस implies independence in mind, not being influenced in the professional judgment, and apprehends the avoidance of facts and circumstances that are so significant that a reasonable and informed third party would likely to be conclude the auditor's integrity, objectivity, and profession has to be compromised. So, implies independence in mind, and appearance. So these two are माइंड में भी होना चाहिए और अपीयरेंस में भी होना चाहिए. माइंड में कैसे, नॉट बीइंग इन्फ्लुएंस्ड इन द प्रोफेशनल जजमेंट, और अपीयरेंस में द अवॉइडेंस ऑफ फैक्ट्स और सर्कमस्टेंसेस that are so significant that a reasonable and informed third party would be likely to conclude that auditor's integrity, objectivity, or professional skepticism have been compromised. So, this is for today. We shall discuss certification, the requirement of social auditors in the next. So, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद for your patience listening. नमस्कार.